Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel where we review anything and everything. And today we're getting into this Marvel set 76334. This is from Spider-Man 3. This is the epic battle Spider-Man versus Sandman. This set comes with 201 pieces. And as I mentioned before, it is modeled off of the Spider-Man 3 movie, which from my understanding is the first time that they made one from the Spider-Man 3 movie. It's interesting because they also did the Spider-Man 2 movie not long ago from the train set, which I don't have, but it was like the runaway train set. So in this set here, you come with the three minifigures. You have Spider-Man, Sandman, and Venom from the movie. And we'll take a look at this really quick. Now, this set goes for $25. I'm gonna have the link in the description for you guys to purchase on Amazon. I think it's actually a really nice little set. Bought it for my son. He actually was interested in it. We had a little Lego magazine. He saw it on there and said he wanted it. Let's take all the figures off and take a look at the figures first. So taking a look at Venom first. He looks different than any other Venom because he is the, let me zoom in a little more. He is the version from Spider-Man 3, which is definitely just really different than any other one that they've done before. They do give him a lot of tentacles, which I think is nice because you're gonna have this figure, you know, as like if you're buying the set for the figures, it's nice that you get like a beefed up in terms of like accessories for the figure. So I think that was really cool. The only other Venom that I've ever had inside the collection, which was my boy's as well, is the one that came with the Miles Morales mech, which obviously is very different than this one here. And right at the time that right before we purchased this, we actually watched the Spider-Man 3 movie. So it was interesting to be able to go through all that and see the points that are similar. So yes, I think the face on this is actually really nice. You have the Spider-Man, which is very much like the movie type where it's got the almost like the metal webbing in terms of the way it looks. Is very shiny because most of the time only in the Spider-Man Tobey Maguire movie, Sam Raimi, is that what they is the one who directed it or whatever. Only in those is his suit look like that. You know, that's how they did the suit back in those times. And every other movie ever since didn't have that look. So it's very unique when it comes to that. So, you know, they did justice to the way that the spider web pattern looks on here. And you can see it on there as well. And also too, you got dual molded legs. So that's a big plus as well, because I've had a couple other previous Spider-Man figures that are just the generic Spider-Man figure, not from a movie, but just, you know, just a generic line. Even from the newer waves that came out with the Daily Bugle, the apartment, Peter Parker's apartment, they don't even have that. So that's actually a really nice plus. You do wish you could see that more often. And for this set, getting a figure like this, I think this is pretty good because you get, for at least my understanding, these are two unique figures right off the back. I don't know if Sandman's a unique figure as well. I assume he is, but he might be from the original Daily Bugle set, the UCS one, not the UCS, but the modular set. And I'm not sure, but nonetheless, if you don't have him, you're getting him here. And I think it's great. They did a nice middle ground in terms of his size versus, you know, like this kind of setup. So they could have easily have made it where, you know, you had a different version where it was like really big. It was just like the mold of the head. It was the one from the, I think it's it No Way Home, the last Spider-Man movie that they made. And I don't remember exactly how that one looked, but I think it was like a build-up piece, but without a minifigure. And here you see you get the minifigure, so it's kind of cool because you can have him running around in this small form, which is great. The printing on him looks really nice. And then obviously you can build him up if you want with the accessories. So I think this is actually really cool. And they kind of just minimized everything to a size that was more manageable, but yet gets the whole concept across as far as that whole Spider-Man 3 movie. So I think that's really cool. You see here, they used the Black Panther gauntlet things on there that they used for that figure. And let's just squeeze these arms back on. You build the arms up. Nice little simple build, but it works. And the little piece that he's sitting on works too. And I like that they did it where, you know, you just plop them on and it's not too crazy of a hassle. And the reason why I like that is because obviously it's easy to take them off, but then it's not a big deal to put them right back on. And the way it's built up, it does have some movement in this. Not much, but you know. So it's nice, and you're able to just plop it on because it's got one stud there. So, you know, you're able to just kind of fit it on, and that's it, really. And you can kind of move it around because it's just the one stud. So I think that looks really nice. Now putting that aside, jumping into the build here. This is really cool to me. As far as it's a simple display build, you have the little plaque as well. They actually did this also for the, what is it? There's the Iron Man one where Age of Ultron, Iron Man is facing off against the Hulk in his Hulk Buster, which is nice, but I think that one's a little too pricey in my opinion. I think it should have been closer, maybe $40 instead of $50, but this is $25. You're getting 3 minifigures that I think are exclusive. I could be wrong. You can correct me in the comments down below. Now, you could see here the build-up is supposed to be like a kind of rec site. I think they did a really good job without doing too crazy, without being too over the top with it. You get this little black border for the display. In the lettering right there, Spider-Man, and it's the title of the set. Spider-Man, Spider-Man vs. Sandman, and Venom. So it actually expands on the set name. You got the fire extinguisher, you got the lamp post. Just really nice little kind of minimized construction site. Did a really good job with it. Got the little webbing there. That was like when it was holding the car in the scene. And you got the swinging web right there, so that's cool. This part was just an extra piece that came with the extra parts, but I just threw it there. But yeah, overall, I think it looks really nice. I think it came out nice. Let's get another angle of this like that. Nice little build, doesn't take a lot, great for display. I definitely recommend it. Honestly, I think the price is right on this one, especially for the fact you're getting 3 minifigures. So if you broke it down with the idea that each minifigure is $5, because most of the time I feel like in sets they'll charge like $5 for a minifigure. Or at least that I think is where most people kind of have the general value of a minifigure. It's like $5. You'd look at all 3 minifigures, it's like $15. And the buildable set for another $10. If you look at it, break it down in that way, I think it's really not bad. Because when you look at poly bags that just have like one figure, and then sometimes they're just a figure, they're usually about $5. And then sometimes you can find some that have 2 figures, but yeah. So I think it's not bad. I think it's a pretty good site. Not to stretch this out really too long, but it's definitely exclusive to, like I said, that version of Spider-Man as well. So if you are a particular fan of the movie, then definitely I think it's, you know, it's definitely something that is worth getting. Now, I get you can't cram too much into it without it getting too pricey. I will say this, and this is not a critique of the set per se. This is not a knock on the set. I think the set is perfect just the way it is for the most part, yes. If they would have, for $5 extra, for $30, thrown in, what's his name, Harry as the Green Goblin with his glider, I think that would have been like aces on this set. Not to say anything's wrong with it as it is, but just kind of just bringing the scene to like the highest level. I think that would have been just like really awesome if they would have done that. Because like I said, just extra $5, put in that extra minifigure. I think that would have been great. As it is, I think it's definitely a set worth buying. But yes, they could have done that, and this set would have been even more complete because you would have had this, and then maybe what you could have had is, and let me just bring this in for reference. I happen to have on hand Hobgoblin. Not the same thing, but you get the idea. And obviously his hoverboard in Spider-Man 3 for Green Goblin was more of like a disc, like almost like a surfboard type of thing. So they could have kind of just done it as like that with a little bit of like stuff built in on it. So it would have been probably a little more simple of a build than this, but nonetheless, you could have had something like this, you know, hanging on a post like that. Venom goes over here as he does in the display as normal. And sometimes when you put these guys, take them on and off, you run into the issue of sometimes almost moving these things around too much. Spider-Man stands on here. And then you got him here. Sandman. And you could see how that would have worked if that was Green Goblin on his hover glider. and you know, they would have thrown Harry inside there. So I think that would have been great. Like I said, if this was a 30, I think the set is perfect for what you're getting, the price. But if for $30 you would have thrown in Harry, I think this set would have been like just completely filled that moment. This is obviously is the moment right before Harry comes, when the way the set is. But I think it would have been awesome if they did have him in there. But anyway, you guys, nice set. I definitely recommend it. I really, 2 thumbs up. This is really good. My son loves it. I bought it for him and he really loves it. So as always, you guys, like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.